Unthinkable a few months ago, the Ukrainian flag now flies above government buildings in the Kharkiv region. Here, Ukraine's lightning advance has put Russian forces on the back foot, pushing them all the way to the border. A huge setback for Vladimir Putin, who had promised swift victory back in February. It's provoked something rarely seen in Russia, rare public criticism of Putin himself, like this letter written by local officials in Moscow asking Russia's leader to step down.
The rhetoric that you and your subordinates use has been tinged with intolerance and aggression for a long time and has plunged our country into another Cold War era. Russia's once again feared and hated. We ask you to step down from your posts because your opinions are desperately outdated and hinder Russia's development.
In St. Petersburg, local politicians have gone as far as invoking Article 93 of the Constitution, which gives Parliament the power to depose the head of state in the case of treason.
After sharing their grief so publicly and with so many, the king and his siblings had some peace as they continued to mourn their mother. The Queen's 4 children mounted a vigil around her coffin, lying at rest in St Giles Cathedral in Edinburgh. Although members of the public were watching, it still felt like a private and very personal moment. The Queen will remain here till this evening. Those who've already seen her faced hours of queuing, with a line stretching over a mile away from the cathedral.
Hopes of a nuclear deal with Iran are once again floundering. The UN's watchdog says it cannot guarantee the peaceful nature of Tehran's nuclear program, adding that a growing gap of information has thrown any possible agreement into jeopardy. Iran has been restricting international monitoring and is now disconnecting cameras installed as part of the 2015 nuclear deal. Furthermore, the IAEA last week warned that Tehran now had enough enriched uranium to create a nuclear bomb within just 3 to 4 weeks, something Iran continues to deny.
Despite more than 6 years and 172 court sessions, Muhammad al-Halabi's family hasn't lost hope that he will soon come home. Al-Halabi was the operations manager for World Vision in Gaza when he was arrested in 2016. Israel accused him of diverting $50 million to Hamas. He's been held in detention since. Earlier this month, an Israeli court sentenced al-Halabi to 12 years in prison. Prosecutors say the evidence they have against him is classified and cannot be given to his lawyer or revealed in court.
Uganda has paid the Democratic Republic of Congo $65 million in reparations for the invasion and looting by Uganda's People's Defense Forces during the Congo War, which involved several militias between the late 1990s and 2003. On Monday, Uganda's Finance Ministry spokesman confirmed the first payment, which had been announced by DRC. The UN's highest court, ICJ, found in February that Uganda should pay its neighbor $225 million for loss of life, $40 million for damage to property, and $60 million for damage to natural resources.
Amazon CEO Jeff Bezos' rocket company Blue Origin suffered its first launch failure after liftoff on Monday. This is the first major failure for Jeff Bezos' space travel company since transitioning to routine commercial flights. No one was aboard the Blue Origin rocket where the incident took place. The rocket veered off course over the West Texas area for about a minute after liftoff, after which the capsule's launch abort system immediately kicked in, further lifting the spacecraft off the top, and several minutes later the capsule parachuted into the desert floor. The booster crashed within a designated hazard area In a statement, Blue Origin said that the crash took place due to a booster failure, where instead of landing upright, it impacted the ground.
Now to Kenya, which is about to inaugurate a new president. William Ruto will take the oath of office in Nairobi following a closely contested election and a court challenge by his opponent. So these live pictures are from the Kasarani International Stadium, where the ceremony is due to take place.
William Ruto beat the odds to win Kenya's top job. Despite being deputy for almost a decade, he ran as the underdog, sidelined by outgoing President Uhuru Kenyatta. Raised in a small village where he says he often slept hungry, he drew on his own childhood experiences to connect with supporters.